At this time of year, as we head into the start of summer, the cistus come alive. We've got lots of planting down here with the pelargoniums, the perennial wallflowers, and there's some really nice interest and colour with some of the succulents in and around the memorials just at the bottom. We've also got some rather nice grevilleas and some banksias which create interest at different times of year as you head through the winter months. I think it's always nice to talk about the sort of historical context of plants of Treba, and the gunnera plantation is one of those that's been here for quite a while. Planted in the 1950s, the same time as the hydrangea valley, to create this sort of dramatic effect. It was really at the sort of height of the sort of plants that were being brought back and still introduced into the UK. This is Gunnera crosscryptica, originally thought to be Gunnera manicata, but now seen as a cross between Gunnera manicata and Gunnera tinctoria. It still has a grandeur that you'd get with Gunnera manicata, and it has fantastic sort of look to it and feel to it, and it gives you that sort of protection from the sun on a day like today when it's lovely and sunny, and just gives you a bit of shelter obviously if you've got a bit of rain. As we head into the start of the summer, the Philadelphus are a really good sign of that sort of early summer display. They're rather nice as well. They obviously have the added bonus of scent. This is Philadelphus Beauclerk, just as you head along Badger's Walk. As you head along Petry's Path, just after the turn-off for the amphitheatre, the Deutzia bank is looking particularly good. One I picked out is Deutzia magnifica Nancy. It has this lovely pale pink flowers which are covered in bees, an absolute bee magnet. Looks absolutely fantastic. It's good for a little bit of colour when other things aren't really starting to really sort of get going just yet, like the hydrangeas. So a nice sort of infill before the hydrangeas take centre stage. Trees play such an integral part of the structure and the format of Treba. And there's some wonderful specimens, and one of my favourites is the pterocarya, the Caucasian Wingnut above me. It has these wonderful catkins which hang down through the summer. This space has changed over the years. Obviously we've got the amphitheatre here now and this stage area, but I always think, no pun intended, this tree takes centre stage in this space. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it's a real showstopper as you head through the summer months. Another really good source of colour and interest in the garden as you head through into June are the Cornus. This particular one, Cornus Missatomi, just flowering above the amphitheatre, is a real stunner. It has a lovely flush of pink to those bracts. We're down by Mallard Bridge now, and one particular showstopper at this time of year is the Watsonia. This is Watsonia Bbonica. You can see it's sort of naturalised quite well in this space and has actually started to spread out. It doesn't mind a little bit damper conditions as well, unlike a lot of the South African corms which actually prefer slightly dry conditions. And moving on from one South African plant to another, and another favourite of mine is wachendorfia thysiflora, with these great big orange flower spikes and the rather impressive ribbed leaf as well. It's a rather good plant again for tolerating slightly damper conditions, so if you've got a wet area it'll grow quite happily in sort of damp marginal spaces. Another great flowering tree, fairly small in stature, is Styrax Abasia. It's covered in a mass of bees as well, great for the pollinators. This one's flowering just as you head down towards the bridge at Mallard Pond. One rather interesting grevillea that we have growing down at the very bottom of the garden is Grailia Barkana. You can see these lovely oak-like leaves, and it has this wonderful sort of cone of flowers which are rather pretty, set against that sort of silvery green of the foliage. Probably one of the most dramatic of all of the flowering trees, and again quite a nice size, doesn't get too big, is Stuartia Sinensis. It has this lovely little sort of pink blotch to the white flower, very much like a sort of single rose, and the buds before they open have even a little pink touch on them, almost like somebody's gone over them with a paintbrush. It's a great fan and another sort of great plant for the pollinators, and you'll see it covered in bees. The other great thing about Stuartia is they have fantastic autumn colour as well. So as we head through into the autumn, you'll get lovely sort of flushes of sort of orange and red. It really does create quite a dramatic effect, and it also has quite a nice patinated bark in time when it gets a little bit bigger as well. So lots of different facets to this particular plant. Styrex Japonicus pink chimes really does impress with its sort of the sheer flower power and the contrast, I think, against this sort of purpley foliage as well, and this lovely sort of pinky mauve coloured flowers. They really are lovely the way they sort of hang down and create this sort of lovely sort of tiered effect on this particular tree. As you head along Radiata Path, just below Alice's seat, another Styrax is flowering. This is Styrax Abasia, the white form. You can see it really stands out again with these lovely white pendulous flowers in that lovely sort of tiered format, and again a great fan with the bees.